What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about a newer release, Pleasure. Before we begin, let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this movie were, if you already saw it or if you were planning on seeing it, and make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these reviews, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with more movie related content on a near daily basis. But let's not waste any more time and let's talk about Pleasure. This stars Sofia Kappel as Bella Cherry, who arrives in Los Angeles with dreams of becoming an adult film star. But she soon learns that fame won't come easy as she harnesses her ambition and cunning to rise to the top of this mesmerizing and singular world. This is written and directed by Ninja Thyberg in her feature directorial debut, with this being based on her short film of the same name, and it was given a limited theatrical release by Neon. And if nothing else, I'm going to come right out and say this is one of the boldest films of the year, for the way it looks to paint an honest picture of the adult film industry, as seen through the eyes of our young protagonist's rise to fame. Now, Boogie Nights, this is not. This isn't something that's looking to entertain. You're going to get none of that here. And if you're looking for something that's purely escapist, then you should go no further, as you're not going to like this at all. Instead, this looks to show us the harshest, most unglamorous aspects of the business, and in some of the ugliest ways possible. And if there's one word to describe this movie in a nutshell, it's uncomfortable. Viscerally uncomfortable. Now, it's told through a typical story type of what would you do to achieve what you want, which we've seen countless times before. Bella, whose real name is Linnea, is highly motivated, new to the scene, and finds herself in countless situations she wasn't exactly prepared for, even if she thinks she was, or where she finds herself making some difficult choices at the expense of her own mental health or others. However, while that setup sounds very conventional, it also has a very clear, defined purpose that I think it achieves well. The industry Thyberg looks to explore is one that acts in extremes and generally follows a lot of set dynamics, and she goes to show how those dynamics are also the case behind the camera, with Bella being subjected to a lot of misogynistic, degrading encounters, either being chastised by her agent, male directors, or her male co-stars. Even when at first they might seem helpful or encouraging, as soon as it's made clear it's not working, they show their true colors pretty quickly and show her a completely different side to them. There's especially one moment later on where Bella's filming a quote-unquote rough scene that shows this, and it's absolutely brutal to get through. It's not the first time something like that happens in the film, but it's the most extreme version of what she repeatedly goes through here. It's a very physically demanding role, both for what we see occur on each of these shoots, as well as the mental breakdowns Bella starts to have as a lot of this compounds. And Kappel, in her acting debut, knocks it out of the park here, with her performance easily being one of the best parts about this movie. Now, as things go along and Bella becomes more involved in this industry and she sees what she has to go through, what happens is she finds herself more emotionally detached from others in order to accomplish her own goals. And as a result, we tend to feel emotionally detached from her ourselves as things go on, which I want to touch upon further in a moment. But the performance itself is mesmerizing. And there's an extra layer of reality built into this, as most of, if not all of the supporting cast, all come from the industry themselves and know the extremes of the industry all too well. So there's a level of authenticity that we see in these interactions when someone's giving Bella a hard time or putting her down or trying to get her to do something she's not comfortable with. And in that regard, the film completely immerses you in this world, and it really drives the point home about how gross it can be and how it can be a real unsafe environment. Like, outside of a few moments, the whole thing feels seedy, and parts of it are like something straight out of a horror movie. The direction by Thyberg, too, really adds to that, with this borderline documentarian style as she follows Bella around and makes us feel like we're right there with her. It's a film that has a lot to say and ultimately accomplishes what it set out to do. However, because of the inherent nature of the story, I don't know if this is something I'd necessarily find myself revisiting anytime soon, and I feel that will be the case for a lot of people who check this out, as those feelings of being gross and uncomfortable are pretty much the major and arguably only real takeaway from this. Like, you do not feel good at all by the end, especially since, as I mentioned, given the nature of Bella's arc, not that it justifies any of the horrible stuff that happens to her by any means, and it's portraying a very harsh truth about an entire industry, but the point is how she becomes so emotionally distant as the film goes on, and she further gets involved with this ugly world, which leaves the audience feeling nothing but cold by the end of the film. And I mean, if you're totally okay with that, then by all means, go watch this right away. But for me, While I get what this was going for and it accomplishes what it was ultimately looking to do, the way it ultimately looks to make us feel isn't enough for me to call this a movie I love or want to necessarily go back to. I'd say Pleasure is at best a one-time watch. It's very well made, with excellent direction by Ninja Thyberg and a great lead performance by Sofia Kappel. And it accomplishes its goal of showing us the ugliest, most extreme parts of the adult film industry and the way its power dynamics wind up being toxic and degrading. The thing is, with what the film is looking to say, it leaves you feeling cold and gross by the end of it, especially given how our lead character becomes more emotionally detached as things go on. And I don't know if I'd call that the most compelling experience, to be quite honest. At least not enough that it would make me want to revisit the film. I think after you see it once, it's enough to appreciate what it's going for, but that's it. Though still, given how it does have something to say and it got that across, I still look forward to what else Ninja Thyberg has in store. Pleasure gets a 6 out of 10. So let me know, did you see Pleasure or are you planning to see it, and what were your thoughts? Was this movie just too uncomfortable for you, or do you think this is one you'd revisit? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it, and for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching everyone, and keep having fun with film.